Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Bell. I'm part of the product marketing team here at SAP, and I'm joined today by Justin King for another episode of B2B Exchange. Justin is a true pioneer in the B2B e-commerce space, so it's a real pleasure to have him on the show today. Justin, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's pretty exciting to talk about my favorite topic, B2B e-commerce.
Awesome. And Justin, I'd like to just kick things off. Can you just tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, the type of companies you work with, the type of clients that you work with? Just who are you?
Sure. I saw a real need a number of years ago to, create a place, a location, and we eventually created an association that brings together all of the leaders in manufacturing and distribution. If you're in digital inside of a manufacturer or distributor, it's a
Yep.
lonely place because the rest of your company is off doing the things that they do best, right? In manufacturing or as a supplier.
Yeah.
And you're in this kind of corner thinking through digital and a very important topic of digital, but it becomes a lonely place. And more than anything, we've created a place where hopefully people are just a little bit less lonely in their corner of the world.
What is it that you mean exactly by digital? So, like, I guess a lot of people are going to have a lot of different ideas around what is digital, particularly in the commerce space. Like, can you define it or like give some context around what you mean by that?
The biggest difference between what we're doing in manufacturing and distribution and what people are doing in retail and D2C and brands is that the people that are coming to your website, they're not coming there because they want to be there. They're there because they have to be there. It's their job to be there. So it's all about digital is above e-commerce, and how do we help our customers do their job easier? And digital tools spans the entire organization.
What are some of the top obstacles that supply side companies still put in place when they're working with digital customers today?
Suppliers often, if you look up digital strategy, often digital strategy comes down to, hey, create a website and sell directly to customers using that website. Well, but that completely goes around the value of the channel. So what I always encourage suppliers to do, and on the supply side, is think through, most of the time, a digital strategy is really about supporting the channel with digital methods. And so what does that mean? That sometimes means, hey, making sure your products and your product content and your product data is available on all the channels where it's being sold, or all the networks it's being sold, or marketplaces it's being sold. And that's having your product content be able to be found in those channels. So for example, a channel could be a distributor, making sure your product could be found on a distributor's website, that when they type in your keywords on their website, that your products are actually shown. That's actually a starting digital strategy that most manufacturers, from the largest manufacturers down to the smallest, it's kind of the first step for employing a digital strategy. How do I support the channel?
I know you talk a lot about it's not just about a website. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just like, hey, go really awesome web store and then kind of it's done. That's your digital strategy, right? Why should suppliers invest time and resources in setting up a profile on a B2B network like SAP Business Network?
I think networks, similar to marketplaces, networks provide this kind of plug and play ability to, number one, do discovery, find new products, find new suppliers that they haven't worked with. And the plug and play part is often that network is actually integrated into the buyer's purchasing process. I think networks play this really valuable role in having that plug and play network integration in place, so that when you do have a problem you need to solve and you're looking for a product that solves that problem, you're able to find that problem and onboard that product with ease inside of your existing systems. A lot of time is spent trying to find new suppliers that maybe supply new categories of products or new additions of products that they weren't using before. and to be able to have a network where you can do both problem solving, finding the product that meets the problem that I'm trying to solve, and to do discovery of, hey, here's new products we might want to bring in to, whether it's whether you're trying to build a new engine or solve a current problem. That network does provide that easy integration.
I mean, you also write about this a lot in your books and on your blog and have conversations on your podcast about it. But I'm interested to hear from you directly. What are the key principles you tell supply side companies to think about when they're starting their journey on creating a digital strategy?
Almost always, it starts with product content. Like making sure that your products, your attributes, your images, your information about that product is present, and that your brand is well represented within the channel. Inside of the SAP network, for example, making sure that your products, that your descriptions, your titles, your images, the attributes of your product, because customers are going to find the product using those attributes, that those have been published to that network, and that when people do the search for the keywords that you should own because you're the best at it, that your products actually show up. That product content is not a project. It's a process. It's a program. That's something that you don't stop doing. There's no start date, end date. It's a continuously improving the product content. The best companies are continuously thinking, how should my products best be represented in the network that we're in?
I'm so glad you brought up that point, because that's something that at SAP we try and encourage suppliers to do on the network as well. We see that the most successful suppliers, the ones who get the most leads, the most new business opportunities, are the ones who maintain their profile.
That's right.
Like you said it, right? It's not a one-time exercise to just company name, address, this is what I sell, and then just let the network do its magic. We found that it's typically not how it works. Of course, it does in some cases for super big companies, but if you're a small to medium-sized business,
Yeah.
and you're trying to grow, like, I mean, you said it right. You've got to be in there testing keywords, even things like testing your branding, like check, maybe you've got variations of your logo, like even something
Yeah.
like that. So like any small detail can give you like such a competitive edge. Justin, in your ebook, you write that buyers aren't browsing or looking to be inspired. They want to find the product, confirm availability and price, place the order, and get back to work. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how that mindset can influence a supplier's digital strategy?
There's plenty of things that I do on a daily basis. I don't want to spend any time doing it. Like, the faster it is for me to do it, I actually have a better positive view of that task or that company that I'm working with by how easy it is to do, how small of time I spend doing it versus how long of time I spend doing it. What most buyers are looking for is really four things. They want to know, okay, does this product solve the problem I have? Right? I have a problem. I'm trying to solve it. Does the product solve the problem? Okay. If it does solve my problem, I want to know a couple things. Do you have it? What's my price? When can I get it?
Awesome point, Justin. And that really speaks well to the value of SAP Business Network, right? It's the number one platform and the best platform in the world for connecting buyers and suppliers so that they can collaborate, share data, and manage transactions all in one place.
The reality is, most manufacturing distributors have made everything that they've been successful at up until this point makes them really, really bad at digital. The things that have made them successful as a great manufacturer, how they've sold products, how they distribute those products through the channel, that often makes them bad at digital, bad at innovation, because they've had these are successful companies. These are not companies that are on the downslope. These are companies that are on the upslope.
That's something that we, on the SAP Business Network, we give suppliers and buyers the foundation. Like if they don't have a digital presence, it's super easy
To
to
establish
set up a
that,
profile. Right. Yeah, just to get in there, set up a profile, and automatically just start transacting and creating buyer relationships. Justin, I've been really looking forward to asking you this question. What is a B2B best practice? Something that you hear all of the time that you just flat out disagree with?
We should not be copying B2C experiences in any way, shape, or form. We should be taking the ideas of B2C of, hey, what was my customer looking for? How do we serve the customer in the best way as possible? And we should be building experiences that are custom built for how our customers buy, look up information, do product discovery. I think the network in this case, represents that well. The network is more of an app experience than it is a website marketplace experience, right? It's an app experience where it's about me and the purchasing that I'm doing on the platform, less about the network itself, or even looking like a website.
A lot of the times we see suppliers that are not on the network and then are asked to join.
That's
because
right.
the buyers are like, hey, look, we need you to be on this thing. And what we're trying to do is sell the value of the network to these suppliers and say, hey, look, yes, okay, you might have to be on here because your buyer's asking you to be on here. But once you're in here, there's a lot of great stuff that you can do, and it's really going to help you. It's not just something that you have to be on. So that's a lot of what we're trying to do as well.
I think a lot of suppliers, if a buyer's saying, please get on the network because I want to purchase there, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of suppliers treat that like a checklist instead of a strategic thing. So a checklist would be put the minimal amount of effort in to get my content up there so that I can, adhere to what the buyer's asking for, instead of looking at, okay, wait, this is a new channel, a new potential investment that could be strategic for my future, bring in new buyers to this. Let's think through how we might support this network instead of just treating it like a checklist.
Justin, thanks again for joining us on B2B Exchange. It's been an absolute pleasure. And for all of the suppliers out there listening, I think the takeaway is clear, right? It's that digital is not just a project. It's a full-on strategy that you need to embrace in order to grow your business.
Amazing being with you. Really appreciate it, Mark, and thanks for having me.